now we're gonna check out the hardware that I used on the drums. Start with a kick, going in here, didn't use any EQ. However, I used the insert and I sent it out to an Alctron 73 EQ. It's basically Neve style 1073 EQ. And then into the Pro VLA2, the compressor, and then into a Klark Teknik style EQ. And then the snare top went through here. Didn't use any EQ on this either. It went from the console, then it went into the Golden Age project EQ-81, which is basically a Neve 1081 style EQ. And after that, it went into the Warm Audio 76 style compressor, and then into the Klark Teknik Teknik style EQ. The bottom snare went into the console, and this time we're using some EQ, about 150, I think. We're boosting like 5 dB, maybe 5-6 dB. We're cutting about 500. We're cutting it like 15 dB all the way, and we're boosting 2K, roughly 2.5K, and we're also boosting a little bit at 8K. And then this goes away in the insert. And what I have what's been insert here is the Pro VLA, and that one actually is we are compressing it, and the Pro VLA2 really compressing it, the bottom snare really hard and fast. So together it will sound like a big fat snare. After that we have the hi-hat, and the hi-hat we're using some EQ. We're high passing at 150, and we're cutting at 500. We're boosting at 4.5K, just a couple of dB, and we're boosting at 7K. And then that one goes to an Alesis 3630. Just tame it a little bit with the compressor. Which actually, the Alesis 3630 is a really hated compressor, but I actually like them. I have actually 3 of them because they are good. They are a little bit dirty, but that's why we use analog hardware, because we want that dirt. But it can be a little bit tricky to set the. It can be a little bit tricky to set the compressor because the screws are so small. The ratio of the knobs are so small, so it can be a little bit tricky. But once you get a hold of it, then it actually is a good compressor. Okay, so the toms are going in, and we are boosting at 90. We are cutting at 300, 350, something like that. We're cutting a lot, and we are also cutting. We're cutting 15 dB at 0.4K, and we're boosting at 6.5K, something like that. And we're boosting quite a lot. And then the toms are going into the Toft Audio DC2, which basically is Toft Audio's fat style compressor. It don't sound like an 1176, but it has kind of that fast and a little bit dirt. It can be dirty, but it's kind of an 1176, but still not. But it's a fat compressor, and it sounds kind of good, I think, anyway. Then we have the cymbals, and the cymbals we use a 400 high pass filter, and we are cutting at 1K, around 1K. We're cutting it 15 dB, and we're boosting it at 1.2K. We're boosting it like 4 dB, maybe 5. And at 8K, we're boosting it 10 dB. And then we are going out of the console, compressing it again on the Alesis 3630. So as you can see, the Alesis can be good also on cymbals. After that, we have the overhead mics, because this time we closed mic the cymbals. Don't know if I'm gonna do that in the future. It worked, but perhaps not as good as I was hoping. Anyway, the overheads coming in, and we are boosting at 100. We're actually boosting like 10 dB. We're cutting at 300, 350, something like that. We're cutting 6-7 dB, and we are cutting at 1.5K, and we are boosting at 8K. After that, the overhead is going into the Klark KT2A, which basically is Klark Teknik's LA2A style compressor. To me, that sounds great. The ride cymbal, oh, I didn't play it, so I haven't done anything to it actually. And then the ribbon mic, the R144, the one that we put in front of the kit to use as almost like a parallel compressor. That one we have, let's see, we have some EQ, we have a lot of EQ actually. We are boosting 15 dB at 100, we are cutting at 350, cutting like 4 or 5 dB, and we are cutting at 1200, and we are cutting at 20K, and we're cutting it full. And the reason why we have cut all the highs is because we wanted most of the kick drum and the snare to get through. This one then goes into the Lindell Audio 17XS, which actually is a Lindell. They don't make them anymore, but it's an 1176 style compressor. Much more dirtier than the Klark Teknik and the Warm Audio. You have a high pass filter on it, so you can really smash that thing. So we're going in there and we're nuking that, which means it's set to infinite, which basically is all button mode, and just smashing that. And that's it. And then we're going back in to the computer. So that's all we have done to the drums. So now we're gonna record guitars and bass and vocals and all that stuff, and we get into that later on. So if you haven't subscribed, do it now.